The case of Brown versus Board of Education was a groundbreaking change in the charge for American citizens who wanted equality. These citizens were everyday Americans, parents, students, teachers, and secretaries from 5 different states challenging the unlawful segregation in the public school system. Cases were presented in Kansas, Delaware, the District of Columbia, Virginia, and South Carolina. While the locations may differ from each other, the goal of the case was the same. A proper education must be given to all the students of America regardless of race. The decision that arose from the case shaped the pathway for equality and changed national and social policies forever. Each individual case was unique to its own state, but the main idea was the same. There was inequality in the public school systems and it needed to be changed. In the shadow of an urban city, Claymont, Delaware held a large population of African Americans. There were many schools in Claymont, but because of segregation, the African Americans only had a few schools available to attend. Most of these schools were in terrible shape. Also, there were no designated high schools in the area for African Americans, so students had to be sent on an hour-long bus ride to an already cramped high school in poor condition. There was already a proper high school in Claymont, but because of segregation, these students had to endure many hardships just to have the opportunity to learn. Possibly the biggest part of the case occurred in Topeka, Kansas. On the 12th attempt of getting rid of segregation in public schools, the NAACP organized the parents of 20 children, 13 plaintiffs in all, to be on trial to get their children an equal education. The Topeka trial gathered the most attention, and the Supreme Court made their final choice. The justices have the final say in cases and usually base their decisions off morals. Chief Justice Earl Warren said, "Today, education is perhaps the most important function of state and local governments. In these days, it is doubtful that any child may reasonably be expected to exceed in life if he is denied the opportunity of an education. We conclude that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal." In 1953, the segregated mindset began to change, as demonstrated by one of the most influential lawmakers at the time. The justices found that segregation violated constitutional rights and further outlawed segregation from the public school system. While there was still hatred, the ruling was the beginning of a journey to find equality for Americans of all races.